Hello, hello, hello. Let me turn down the music. Oh, I'm sorry if anyone's speaking in chat. I'm not looking at chat right now. Okay. No one's speaking in chat at the moment. Hello. I'm currently. So if you guys remember from last time, I did Meet the Artist. Anyways, if you remember, we finished our Meet the Artist last time, and I'm just posting that to Instagram right now, because that was meant for Instagram. I completely forgot about it, so I'm posting it over there right now. Just give me a second, but I could ask you guys how you guys are doing and everything. Personally, I can't see chat at the moment, so, well, I can, I just gotta switch tabs quickly. Let me finish, Okay, hello everyone, my name is Facility. I'm an artist, animator, and streamer online. Most I post over my OCs are meant for self-improvement rather than views for likes. That is true. I do have a channel called Back Animates too, where I draw characters from fandoms, however it's quite inactive. As stated before, I'm also a streamer and animator. I have an animation account on YouTube called Back Animates, and a Twitch account for streaming video games called Facility_TV. I do have a YouTube account for my VODs of the gaming streams called Facility on YouTube, but it is also quite inactive. I hope to see you all during Art Fight. Sorry, just a second. I'm not, you know, my mic's not muted or anything. I'm just trying to figure this out. Okay. Don't have to donate money. Can't. I don't want to. Just a simple hi will make my day and encourage me to keep straight. I shoot every day of June. It's my favorite Trevor Project on YouTube and on Twitch. Anyone is welcome to join. You don't have to donate money if you don't want to. Just let me. The artist, small artist, animator. Okay. Oh my god, my name's Cody. Streamer. Okay, how does this sound? How does this sound? I don't know if anyone's in chat. Okay. How does this sound? Hello everyone, my name is Facility. I am an artist, animator, and streamer online. Most of my posts are on my OCs and are meant to be for self-improvement rather than views or likes. This is for my Instagram, by the way, so it's not gaming stuff, it's all art. I do have a channel called That Animates 2, where I draw characters like from fandoms, however, it is quite inactive. As stated before, I am also a streamer and animator. I have an animation account on YouTube called That Animates, and a Twitch account for streaming video games called Facility_TV. I do have a YouTube account for my VODs of the gaming streams called Facility on YouTube, but that it is also quite inactive. I hope this is a good introduction to myself, and it is lovely to meet you all. P.S. I am raising money for the I am streaming every day of June to raise money for the Trevor Project on YouTube, Back Animates, and Twitch, Facility_TV. Anyone is welcome to join. You don't have to donate money if you don't want to. You don't have to donate money if you don't want to. Just a simple hi will make my day and encourage me to keep streaming. And then I put a bunch of hashtags. I think that works. I think that's good. Okay. Oh. Just want to check something. Okay, yeah. And then I'm gonna unpin this one. We're gonna unpin our previous. Can I unpin this? I'm trying to figure out how to. Is there any way to actually unpin it? Actually, I can do that on my phone, now I think about it. Alright. Let's get this show on the road. I apologize, guys. I was hoping to get that done before I, finished up, before I started the stream, but I just couldn't get it done in time. So I apologize for that. Let's get this show on the road. I'm thinking of animating another walking cycle. If you haven't seen online, I did a walk cycle recently. And so I was thinking of doing that again. Oh, just switch this over. So this was the first walking cycle we did. Hopefully you guys can see it. Yeah. So this was the first walking cycle we did. Good, good. I like it. I'll probably have to make a side view of it as well, but I'm not going to worry too much about that right now. Right now, I want to do 3/4 views because I need to work on my perspective skills. And so having the feet like go back, like you can see my hand is a little wonky here. This hand specifically is a little bit wonky sometimes. This one is too, but not as much. This hand, you can see it's a little wonky sometimes, but that's our first walk cycle. So that's the first one we finished. We have 4 characters we have to do this with, and so she just gets a normal walk cycle. This is Ashley, by the way. This is Ashley. She's a pretty just like your average protagonist type character, honestly. She's kind of just your average protagonist. She's the bubbly, optimistic type of person. One thing is that she can be quite, she kind of runs away. She does have some flaws. She's not like a Mary Jane. She tends to run away from her problems, and she also tends to run away from her problems, and she also tends to do things really impulsively. And when I say like run away from her problems, I mean like avoid like any conflict possible if she can. And then like same with like, or like she just like won't tell people like a bad thing that's happening because she doesn't know how to bring it up to them, you know, that kind of thing. And then she's also very like a bubbly and energetic person, but she's also very impulsive. So she kind of goes in without thinking a lot of cases. She can be pretty reckless sometimes. So, yep, that's Ashley. And Ashley also uses she, he, they for pronouns. She, he, they, and is gender fluid. So. Oh, and they also dye their hair. So if you don't know. Okay. Let me explain. So, I'm just gonna keep it walking. So Ashley is the protagonist of what I plan to eventually be an indie series. We are in pre-production stages right now, and I can't actually start real production stages until next year because I am planning on taking a class on something for this stuff, and I wanted to wait a little bit, see if I could wait until I take that class. And the plans for it right now, there's just some rough plans at the moment. 2.5D. It's not going to be just 2D, it's not going to be just 3D. The characters are going to be 2D animated, the backgrounds are going to be all 3D. So the backgrounds are going to be 3D animated, the characters themselves are going to be 2D animated. That's why I'm doing these animation tests. And then it's gonna be like 8 or 9 episodes-ish, maybe 10 if I really need to stretch one out. Excuse me, sorry. I'm just trying to think. So yeah, 8 or 9 episodes maybe. I do have the pilot episode of it all scripted out. I just need someone to read over it, honestly. I got it all done script-wise and everything. I literally just need someone to read over it. It feels a little rushed in my opinion, but I'm just trying to figure out how to fix that without, you know, saying too much. So, yep, that's happening. So we got the pilot episode script done. I need to get the other scripts done. I kind of want to get them all done before I post any trailers or anything of the series. I would like to get all the scripts done, just so then I don't have to worry about any form of, like, that way I don't have to worry about any form of, like, influence from other people. So, like, other people will have, like, headcanons and stuff like that, or theories, and I personally am very subject to believing in certain theories and being like, oh yeah, that's good, you know? And I don't want to, like, accidentally, like, take someone's theory and actually make it canon if it's not canon already. Just because I don't want to, like, I hate the idea of changing a story just to make the fan base happy. Like, changing a story, changing a character literally just to make the fan base happy is not it. Don't do that. in my opinion. It just gives money hungry. In my opinion, it gives money hungry vibes. Anyways, so probably somewhere between like 7 to 9 episodes for this series. It's gonna be 2.5D animated, so it's gonna have human characters, but the backgrounds are going to be all um, 3D animated. Try and think. Anyways, so Ashley is the protagonist, but she actually changes her hair. So like if you've seen Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, where Ramona changes her hair like every episode or every few episodes, this is the same situation where she'll change her hair occasionally. She has like one hair that is her hair color, so she has this red hair color. That's her favorite color to wear. So that's the one that she wears the most often. So it's not every single episode that she'll change her hair color, but she does change it quite a bit. So she changes it. So like I said, there's going to be like 10-ish episodes. And some of the episodes are going to focus on certain characters. And so when that happens, she'll change her hair usually. If the episode's just like a normal episode, it'll be back to red again. So like, for example, the first episode is just a normal episode, so she'll have red hair in the first episode, but like the second episode is based off of one of the characters, so she'll have pink to represent that character, because the majority of that character's outfit is pink. I know this is more like a purplish pink. I know it's like a, not entirely pink, but it's pink. We'll say it's pink. And then the next episode is gonna kind of focus on another character, which will be and his main colors are purple, different types of purple. So her hair will change to purple. This red band on her sweater won't change, by the way. I figured I should say that. I was thinking of changing it with the hair color too, but then I was like, no, actually, her hair color changing actually looks fine without changing the band of the sweater or the logos on her sneakers. So those colors aren't going to change. And then the fourth episode. Yes, the fourth episode is going to be blue to represent a character who has a lot of blue in their outfit. And then any flashbacks, she's probably going to have her natural hair color, which is blonde. And then basically any other episodes, which is most of the rest of them, she's just going to have her red hair. But yeah, so backstories, any flashbacks we have, she's going to have blonde hair because she didn't dye her hair for a good while. And then for any other characters, like any episodes that are focusing on a certain character, she's going to have the hair color of that character's like predominant outfit color. So like the first episode she's gonna have red hair, the final episode she's gonna have red hair. Final 2 episodes she's gonna have red hair. Probably. Because the finale would probably have to get split up to 2, although so each of the episodes, they kind of go on a day-by-day basis. So each of the episodes is about a day long. So like the episodes don't go over like the course of a day. Like they usually last about the course of a full day. So every episode is a full day of stuff. Usually. For the most part. So yeah. So like the first one, I can't really tell you too much about it, but long story short, they just moving into town and exploring the town. That's basically all it is for the first episode. The first episode's kind of boring compared to the rest, not gonna lie. Actually, all the episodes in general are gonna be a little bit boring compared to what the finale is. That's all I gotta say. I can't say too much. Basically, the series is gonna get more action-packed as it goes on. It's a very slow burn type of series, I feel like. So it might not gain traction until the finales, if anything. Anyways, so yeah. That's just a little fun fact. So this is our first character. This is Ashley. This is the protagonist. Yeah. This is Ashley. So this is the protagonist. Yeah. And so we're probably gonna do another character. I was originally gonna do Victoria, who, if you wanna know, Victoria's blue, Marcus is purple, and Zara is pink. Zara is pink. So, yeah. Um, I don't like that frame. There we go. So I'm thinking we do. I was originally gonna do Victoria for another walk, but her walk isn't very like it's not as normal as Ashley's is. Marcus is the most normal walk, I think, besides Ashley. So Ashley just has a pretty average walk. Um, Zara is gonna have like a model style walk, so like she's like a fashionista model type. She is literally a model in the universe, so that is literally her job is to be a model. Um, and then Victoria's kind of got that like cool guy, hunched over kind of look. She doesn't really like she's not like hunched over because I'm not that cartoonish with my style. But she's gonna be leaning. She's gonna have her shoulders a little bit forward. She's gonna be a little bit slower with her walk and stuff. And then Marcus has a pretty normal walk. I think the only difference between him and Ashley's is that he's gonna be a little bit more reserved about it. So like he has a like a satchel bag that he usually has across his chest. So he'll probably be holding onto that bag or something. He'll probably have like one hand holding onto that bag while the other hand is like fisted shut. So like if you notice, Ashley's walk is pretty casual. She has her hands open, which basically means that she's not like on edge. She's really relaxed. So fun fact is I am giving you a full lesson on body movement and body language. So basically, she's not very like she's a little bit peppy. There's a little bit of pep in her step, as you can tell. And then also, once again, her hands are open, they aren't closed, which means she's not very tense or anything. She is a pretty relaxed individual, which pretty much goes for her. That's basically her. She's a very casual person. And then Marcus is gonna probably have like a closed fists, but like probably legs wise, it's probably gonna be about the same. But like arms wise, he's gonna probably have one arm up holding onto his satchel's like arming because his satchel goes across his body, and then another arm that's just doing the normal like pendulum swing. And then yeah, I explained the other ones already, but Zara's gonna be very confident with her. She's gonna have a very model-like walk because she is literally a model. And then, Victoria's kind of the stereotypical, like, edgy character. So Victoria's probably gonna be very, Victoria was very much inspired by Tom from Eddsworld. So think of Tom from Eddsworld. Not the person, the character. Think of Tom, the character from Eddsworld. Basically almost the same person. She was kind of based off of him. Not entirely, like she does have some qualities that aren't the same as his, but yeah. So think of her as the Tom of Eddsworld, I guess. So she even has the color blue She's mainly the color blue, she has alcohol problems, and is considered the edgy cool one, with brown hair that's almost the exact same shade as his. They are almost identical. And that was actually by kind of complete accident. I know when I made Victoria, I was in a big Eddsworld phase at the time, but she wasn't meant to be fully, like, exact when it came to character-wise. She wasn't supposed to be an exact copy of him, So, I don't know. Also, I'm sorry, my YouTube is extremely behind for whatever reason. I don't know why it is, but it is. So, for whatever reason, my YouTube stream is extremely behind, so I hope you guys aren't seeing... well, I hope you guys aren't chatting or something, because I can't really see it on, my stream, but... Alright. Let's do Marcus, because Marcus is probably going to be the next easiest, and then we'll figure out whether or not we want to do Victoria or Zara next. Okay. So, I'm actually going to keep Ashley's there as a preference. We do need to make a brush for Marcus's hair. If you don't know, Marcus is black, and he has braids. So he has very long braids, in fact. So I would like to see if I can make a brush for his hair, just so that it's a lot easier to just do his hair. Because unfortunately his hair is going to be a pain to animate with all the braids and everything. I have tried to make brushes for his hair before, but they never really worked out, so I'm gonna see if I could find one first on Krita, and then go from there. Just a second. I'm actually gonna post on TikTok that I am live, so just a moment. Okay, I'm back. Hello. Alright. Wow! My YouTube stream is crazy behind. Holy crap, why is it so far behind? Dude, for reference, my Twitch stream is still at the point where it's looping the animation of Ashley. Not even where I stopped it. It's still looping the animation of Ashley. Holy... Oh, wait. Never mind. I was insane. Never mind. Ha! That was my end. Oopsies. Oh my god, that was hilarious. Okay. That was my fault. I accidentally went back on the streaming preview, and so it looked all, you know... It looked all weird. Anyways, let's get to drawing Marcus's walking cycle. So let's change to a sketchy brush. I think I used this one, or no, I think I used this one this time. I don't know what I did to my shoulder, but my shoulder is killing me. Okay. Ooh, that's too big. Should be the... Okay, let's get to drawing. I am so excited to finally actually be working on this stuff. I am extremely happy, excited, elated, whatever you wanna. As many oh my god, synonyms there are for excitement. I don't know. I've only ever animated all of these characters once, except for Victoria. Victoria, I have animated, technically, this is gonna be second or third time being animated. Victoria is the oldest of these characters, design-wise. Her design of all these characters is the only one that's basically stayed the same over the past few years. Marcus is the one that's changed the most. Marcus went from a girl to a guy, and then completely changed races, and basically went through an entire overhaul of a character, because his character also was very much not like it is now. So the original, it's more like he's a completely new character, rather a completely new character that replaced the other character. Basically, he's not really the same character as before. Also, this still isn't gone. Oh, oopsies. I was like, why does it look like there's still... There we go. Oh. Because my opacity was lower. I was like, why is it so much darker now? It's because my opacity was lower. Duh. Okay. So I guess I could tell you a little bit about Marcus while we're drawing him. He has a very sharp drawing for whatever reason, but that's okay. First of all, Marcus has a Marcus in himself is when I draw my male characters, they end up pretty feminine looking. I'm just saying that right now. I don't know how to draw male body types. I'm gonna be entirely honest. I'm trying my best here, but like if I was to try and distinguish which one is a guy and which one's a girl from my characters for body type wise, you wouldn't be able to figure it out. At least in my opinion. I wouldn't be able to figure it out probably. The only thing that could tell me that would allow me to figure it out is if the chest was flat versus not flat. Even like guys usually still have curves and stuff on mine, so the legs wouldn't even change anything either. Oh, and the guys tend to have a little bit broader shoulders, but in this case, Ashley has really broad shoulders, so that doesn't really mean much. Actually, everyone kind of has really broad shoulders in this, now that I think about it, because Ashley just has broader shoulders in general, even despite being skinnier. Victoria is... I almost started drawing boobs. We don't want boobs. No, no, no. Victoria is, pretty muscular, even though she does wear, like, a hoodie and stuff. Victoria is an is a veteran. Victoria is a veteran, and so she has, and she still works out on the regular, so she is quite, she is quite, sorry, she is quite buff underneath her hoodie. Victoria is quite buff, and then, like I said, Ashley kind of has broad shoulders naturally. There's not really any reason behind it other than the fact that she just has broad shoulders. And then Zara is considered plus sized. Zara is plus size. She's bigger than the others, and she is so she has a little bit wider shoulders. And then yeah, and then Marcus is just a guy. Marcus is more. Marcus is definitely is supposed to be definitely skinnier and stuff, but I still, I my guys for some odd reason are always uh quite pretty um one this is weird looking. I try to make it so my guys have a little less curve, but I usually fail at that. If you don't know, female bodies in a lot of cases tend to have more dips in the hip area than guys do. Because guys tend to have fuller stomachs. I just don't want this to look like boobs. I don't really define my boobs very much, so they just end up looking like a curve. Oopsies. So yeah, Marcus, a lot of my guys, I'm gonna be entirely honest, I don't like making male characters. I have some characters that I absolutely adore, who just happen who are male, but the fact, I just don't like drawing them. I don't know, I think women are so much cooler. And maybe that's because I have a high preference for women when it comes to romantic interest. But I just think women are so much better. I just think that women are so much better. That's why this cast is this cast is 3/4 AMAB. AFAB. Not AMAB. AFAB. Okay. What was the first? It was okay. Is that the contact? So a little fun fact, I followed a tutorial on how to make walking cycles. I've never made a successful walking cycle before this Ashley one. I consider, even though it's a little janky, I do consider this Ashley one a successful walk cycle. I do consider it successful. But I have never made a successful one before. I've always made running ones that were successful, but I had never made a successful walking cycle before. So this is a new moment. This is quite the interesting thing. So now that's why I'm trying to get good at walk cycles, so that I can draw a walk cycle when it comes to animating the final pilot and everything. So that's what we're doing, their walk cycles, so then I have a good reference to go through. And we're doing them in 3/4 view at the moment, so then I also have a view from basically every angle except for Ben. So, because 3/4 view basically gives you every single angle except for their back angle. So it's very, very convenient. Right foot forward. Oh, I don't have my proper reference for him. First of all, we need to get my reference for him is. I'll grab it in a second. I need a proper reference to get his height right. But I can just shorten him down or make him taller, depending on what it is. This is too short for legs. Because... I think that foot is too long. Yeah, his legs are way too long. Oh, too long and too big. Or maybe his body is just too big compared to his head. His head is tiny. I thought before it looked fine, but if I had the arms on, he's gonna look tiny compared to the rest of it. Oh, and his feet aren't going to be dragged out as much as hers are. His feet will still go out, but they're going to be a little bit closer together now that I think about it. Hold on. Okay, let's see if we can get his reference in here. His reference... The issue with his reference is that it's somewhere on my phone. I made his original reference on my phone. It has some of his older designs, so you guys get to see some of his old designs, his original designs. You see some of his original designs before he landed on the final one. You guys get to see some of his original design. Oh, by the way, I didn't say this before, but Marcus and Czar are cousins, so don't go shipping them. Marcus and Czar are cousins, so please do not ship them together. They're the only two people who are related by blood, though. Okay, you guys can't see this. Oh my god, I panicked for a second and just was like, oh my god. You guys cannot see that. Thank god. Thank goodness. Okay. Let me... get this thing in here. So, it has some of his older designs in the reference image. I gotta make a new one for him. But this is his reference image. Here we go. So here are some of his older designs. So we had this one where I wanted to go for like for some of these I wanted to go kind of like, you know, weird, like not not really like casual nerd, but then I was like, oh, no, let's go full on book talk nerd right here. And I was like, okay, let's see if we can mix those ideas together and make him more of a casual nerd again. So, okay, I guess. Oh my god, his height is almost spot on. Holy crap, I got his height right. I think he needs a little less on his... No, because he's bending his legs. And the photo. We're gonna move his knees down a bit. His knees are a little weird, but for the most part, I got his height right. Oops, not meant to do that. Okay. Let's fix his head a bit. His head is a little wonky. So, like, I think he has a little bit more of a jaw. And I feel like it's a little too squished, almost. Okay. And then, I think we gotta... Let's see. About there. So yeah, I think we gotta... Let's move down his legs a little bit. See if we can do that. Okay. Do you think his head is not the right size? Something feels off about his head. And I don't know if it's a matter of, like, there's too much. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. Again, I gotta lower how big his foot is. His foot is extremely long for no apparent reason. Long. Let me actually set up a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Does that look about right? Yeah, I'd say so. And then for his arms, we're doing yellow. Hold on. This is going to be red. Red. Body. Okay. Body sketch. Boop. And then his arms are going to be arm sketch. And then this is going to be green line. I do the arms on their own layer because they move on their own. Oh, and we need... clothing sketch. His satchel's gonna be its own piece of clothing. Satchel sketch. And then hair. This hair would need to be its own thing too. Okay. Alright. So satchel needs to be sketched out. The clothing doesn't need to be sketched out now, but his satchel does. So oh, let's not do green. Uh Actually there's no harm in doing green. Let's just do green. I know the green line's at the bottom there, but I'm not gonna get confused between the green line and the satchel. Okay. Okay. I feel like his satchel is really high up for no reason. In both sketches. Like I feel like yeah, I feel like that's better. So I think I actually think his torso is longer than it looks in the sketch, in the reference image, because this goes down a little bit. So I don't know. The shirt goes down a bit. Okay. If you guys don't know, by the way, he's a total bookworm. So his satchel's actually made specifically for books. Not made for books, but it's like the perfect size for like a normal book. Okay. So his arm should probably be out. So his hand should be out. His hand is going to be in a fist. Okay. Okay. His arms are too small. I think this needs to be out a bit. My rule of thumb for arms is that the middle of the arm has to reach about the difference between the torso and the waist, and then the hand of the arm has to go about halfway down the leg. So like that. Or halfway down the thigh. Not down the leg. The thigh. The leg is too long. And then his other hand is gonna go also in a fist. Okay, I feel like this arm is too far out now. Okay. Here we go. make that a little bit thicker so it doesn't look as thin. Because, fun fact, the thinner the wrists, the more feminine a character looks, which is really weird. In my opinion. Now, I will admit, he is quite a feminine person, but he is straight. He's kind of supposed to be that representative of, I know, you know, straight people, you know. He's kind of like that. He's kind of representative of, like, the people who are straight who act like for specifically men who tend to act more feminine and stuff like that, and then get called gay or, you know, trans or something like that, just because they act more feminine. He is straight. That's kind of the not like the point behind him, but all of them kind of represent something. Character-wise, they kind of like not represent something, but they kind of have like some small thing about them that's just kind of unique to them as a character. So like, for example, so like he, like I said, is, you know, supposed to be representative of the people in the straight community who might want to paint their nails and might want to do drag. I've seen straight drag before. People doing like someone who is straight who does drag. You know, do drag and stuff. Like members of the straight community. They aren't afraid to hold purses, wear purses, you know, that kind of thing. And they can still be cis and straight. They don't have to be trans or queer, and he's kind of supposed to represent that. Like, if you saw him, you would probably think, oh yeah, that. If you saw how he acted, you'd probably say, oh yeah, that's probably a gay man. But like, he's not. He's straight, and he's very forward about that. And so yeah, that's who he's kind of representing, is for the straights out there who feel. I know, like, that's kind of a bad one to open up on, but yeah, the people who are like straight and get a lot of, you know, hate for just being, you know, acting. Especially, this is more of a problem for men than it is for women, where like men, if they, you know, if they quote unquote aren't manly enough, then they aren't, you know, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know. I usually do clothing last, but I kind of want to sketch it on him first because I haven't sketched him in a while. Okay. Yeah, because I think this reference image is from about a year or two ago. So he's supposed to kind of represent the members of the straight community. All the other characters are LGBTQ. He's the only one who is cishet. So he's supposed to represent kind of the people in the straight community who get called gay and stuff like that, even though they're not, essentially. Because I feel like there's enough representation of that in media. Like, I don't think there's really that much representation of that stuff, but it's a very real thing that happens in real life. Like, guys can't wear nail polish without being called, like, a gay man or some sort of, you know, gay or something. And it feels awful. I feel horrible watching it, but, you know. It's one of those things. I feel like it's very underrepresented. So he's kind of supposed to represent that part of the straight community. Then oh, and like another thing, like people say that guys can't have like a fashion sense or stuff unless they're like gay or something. I'm like, dude, that's ridiculous. Anyways, sorry, enough about that. Anywho, so he kind of has a braided belt. Get coconut mold, guys. Okay. Okay. So yeah, Marcus. Anyway, so that's who Marcus is supposed to represent. Everyone else is part of the LGBTQ community in some way. Victoria's kind of supposed to represent mental health as a whole. She has a pretty heavy addiction and sensitive topics, by the way, guys. This is very sensitive topics, so if that is a trigger warning, please, you know, look away for, not look away, but plug your ears for a little bit. This is kind of sensitive topics. She's pretty alcoholic. She kind of struggles with that a lot, and she also struggles a lot with certain thoughts of suicide and depression overall. So Victoria is a very big Victoria is a very big representation of mental health as a whole. She is also asexual. So I think, or not asexual. Yes, asexual? Hold on. She is technically... Yeah, she's biromantic. I had to look up the term. I was pretty sure it was biromantic, but I wasn't entirely like 100% like sure on that. She's biromantic. So Victoria represents the biromantics out there. If you don't know, it basically just means that she is asexual and bisexual. So she is a biromantic icon. So Victoria is biromantic. Oh, and Ashley is Arrow Ace. Ashley is Arrow Ace and gender fluid. Technically, yeah, Ashley is Arrow Ace and gender fluid. Oopsies. So yeah, Ashley is Arrow Ace and Arrow Ace and oh my god, I can't think of this. Arrow Ace and gender fluid, like I said. Sorry, it took me a second. Do we make the bob? I'll make the bobs of the shoes striped. I wasn't going to, but I did it for Ashley, so I probably should do it for him as well. They have two different types of shoes, but you know. So yeah. So he's the Marcus is the cis het Victoria is biromantic, cis and biromantic. So Victoria uses she, her. Was born AFAB, or yeah, was born AFAB. Um, and like I said, she is biromantic. Zara is born AFAB. I can't really talk too much about Zara and her stuff to LGBTQ. She, Zara is, uh, oh my god. Oh my god, what's the name? Oh my god. I literally am this. Omnisexual. Zara is omnisexual with a preference for men. If you don't know what that means, it's essentially pan. It's essentially pan. If you don't know what that is, pansexual. Pansexual means that you're attracted to all genders. Zara is Zara is um omnisexual basically means that you are attracted to all genders, regardless, or to everyone regardless of gender. Sorry, that okay. It means that you are attracted to everyone, regardless of gender. However, um, regardless of gender. Uh, However, omnisexual doesn't mean the same thing as that. It's similar, but it doesn't mean the same thing. Omnisexual is basically you are attracted to anyone, you know, of the same. You are attracted to anyone regardless of their gender. However, you have a strong preference when it like comes to dating and stuff like that. And uh, so like for me, in my case, I'm omnisexual. Fun fact. I'm omni, and I think I would be demi-romantic. Yeah, I think I'm demi-romantic and omni. I'm not sure on the demi-romantic part. I'm just trying to figure that part out. But I'm pretty sure I am. Uh, Anyways, so when it comes to being omnisexual, uh, I personally, I'm attracted to all genders. However, I have a huge preference for women. So I have a big preference when it comes to women for like dating wise and stuff like that. I have a large preference for women. And once again, like I said, I am technically demi romantic too, but yes. Uh, it's too big of a nose. It's too much art stuff. Okay. So yeah, and so in Zara's case, they are. Oh, by the way, Zara is the nickname for Zara. So I'll often call Zara just plain old Zara. It's just a nickname. It's just a nickname. Um. So I'm trying to see if I could draw his mouth, but something just isn't right. It just doesn't seem right. Maybe it's too low. I just have this stuff too low. Oh, and I'm gonna. Ooh, I have a little bit of a. I was wondering why that wasn't working. There you go. He has a little bit of stubble going on. He is one of my very few male characters with facial hair. And he barely has any. I don't have many characters with facial hair. Also, I think the eyes are too far apart. I don't have many characters with facial hair. I know that would technically go under hair section, but his face is like... Okay, wait, hold on. No, no, not aligned. Nope. No, he's supposed to have two normal pupils, by the way. I don't know why his pupils are doing that. Also, his ears like oddly round for some odd reason. I don't know why. Anyways, I did his facial hair, actually like a part of his face stuff, just because. Just because when I do my hair stuff, I'm gonna want this to all be good. Like I'm gonna want to be able to move it without having to worry about moving other pieces. Okay. And then his hair. His hair in purple. Oh, and his glasses! Ah, I forgot his glasses. His glasses are gonna be blue. They're technically part of the clothing. Yeah, I do want them round. I was thinking I could make them not round because I think both of my characters, all my characters who have glasses, I'm pretty sure have round glasses. But looking at him, and his box isn't round, which makes me think that I should do round. At the same time, nothing starts to match his buttons, and I like the gold frame. Oh wait, no, I do have one character who does not have round glasses. Their kid. Actually, these are gonna be easier because I could just go shoop. Oh no, don't be at 15% opacity. Dang it. Hello? There it goes. Oh wait, it's back at 15% opacity again. And then do this. Boop. Where did that go? Hold on. Copy, and then paste into active layer. There we go. All right. I feel like something is off with this. Like maybe I feel like it should be up more, which is right, because usually for 3/4 view it is, but I don't know, it feels wrong to have it up more like that. Also, it feels wrong to have it so small, but it kind of has to be. I don't know, something feels off about it. Let's find. Let's do that. Oopsies. Let's do that. Oops, nope, nope, nope. Because his glasses are. Okay. And then go boop, boop. Hmm. It's like they have to be like in a certain pixel in order to move or something. I don't know. I think that's the closest we can get for that one. Okay. I don't think his glasses actually go. Yeah, they don't. Okay. So that's his glass. I feel like something's still off. Ugh. This is so annoying. Maybe it's that? That, I think that looks better. There. I think that looks better. Okay, that's his glasses. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hair. Let's see if we can. Here. I feel like I found one at one point on Credit for him that worked well as a temporary thing. Oh, was it this one? It worked well as a temporary fix. It was something like for his hair. It wasn't something I could use all of the time, though. So, like, nope, that's too small. I feel like it's still too... Yeah, I think it was this one. Or was it this one? Oh, it might have been this one. Yeah, I think it might be that one because it looks kind of like an individual braid almost. So like if I were to do... it looks like little butterflies. Actually, I don't know. It's too far in, I think. Or maybe these ones if they were closer to each other. So like, what if I did 50? Okay. Okay. I think. Whoa. I think we'll just use. Because this one was nice, but it's too far inwards, so I think we'll just use this one for now. And see what we can do with it, honestly. It's still not right, though. Wait, can I? I don't know. I can't tell. So the reason why I'm giving him individual. The reason why I need him to have a brush instead of a normal draw it out. I would love to draw it out normally, but animation takes so much time. I would spend probably 20 times the usual amount of time for animation if I had to draw every single one of his braids. Because if you look, his entire head is just braids. It's all braids. So that is why. Also, I'm just not a details person. I'm not very good at drawing in like very details. So, yeah. Basically, I'm gonna have to draw in an individual braid for every single one of his braids, and that's gonna take a lot more time. He would probably take the most time out of my animation doing that, and I don't want that. So, okay. Actually, I kind of like. Wait, these are the butterflies. Never mind. I was gonna say I kind of like the butterflies, but okay. We're just just gonna do these to stimulate the braids for now. I'll have to see if I can. I'll see if I can find some tutorials on how to make brushes for hair later. We're definitely not getting past the sketch bases today, so. I know that there's like, and then we just have a ton of that basically. And you might be like, oh, why aren't you just coloring in this entire head of hair? He's so, you know, he has so many strands of braids, it would just be easier to color it in. Yeah, maybe it would be, but I want to be accurate with my characters as much as I can. And I want to give them good representation. Okay, his braids do come down a little bit farther than I thought they did. Okay. Hold on. Let's do. His hair is more like that. Sorry. Okay. Oh, and another thing, I'm not a skilled animator at all, so animating braids would also be kind of a bit of a pain. Like, in general, like, a bunch of braids, not just one, because so, like, Zara has one braid. So, like, Zara does also have braided hair, but it's just one braid, and she braids it every morning. She actually straightens her hair. So, that's a little fun fact for you guys. Zara. So, Zara and Marcus are cousins, but Zara is mixed. And so she doesn't have the same hair type entirely. And even if she wasn't mixed, she probably still wouldn't have the same hair type as Marcus. So she doesn't really have the same hair type as Marcus. And long story short, do I want his hair to go over his shoulders or not? Because I don't mind making it so his hair goes over his shoulders, but we could just have it back. I think it would be just for easy, just for... No, but it might be easier just to do the hair in back. Or in front. It's actually probably going to be easier to do hair in the front, because then I could just have the hair layer over top of all the other layers. So yeah, we're gonna have his hair in the front. I know in here his hair looks a little thicker and everything. It's just because of that's actually fine. It's because of the sketch, but it's because I think it's because his head is actually a little bit bigger, but that's okay. I personally don't mind that. Okay, so that's our first thing of Marcus. We're actually not gonna work on any of the clothing or anything. The only thing that we'll work on is the arms. We're actually gonna work on the main poses first. So a little fun fact when you're animating things is that you want to work on the main poses first before you work on the other animations. So, so this is his first pose. This is, let me label this frame type. So this is his contact pose. Let me go back to my normal. Oh, and if you're wondering why on earth I have so much space left after my looking animations, don't ask me. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I'm gonna be entirely honest. I have no clue as for why I leave that much room there, so. Okay. So everything here except for the arm, satchel, and body are going to, well, actually, even the satchel is going to be. The arms might, one of the arms is going to have to be done later. So, one arm will have to be done later. Okay, so that's our contact, and then if we want to do it at the same timing as Ashley's, because I liked Ashley's. So if we want to do it at the same timing as Ashley's, I liked Ashley's timing for hers. So that's every 2, but every 4 there'd be a new 5. Every 5 there'd be a new contact. But every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we would need 5 and then a passing pose. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So nope, body. Okay. Okay. Alright, hold on. I need to scooch back my chair a bit. My chair is a little bit too close to the table where I can't like stretch my legs or anything properly. Hold up. Alright. Excuse me, sorry. Not crazy tired, but I guess I am a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna hide the reference image for now. I don't mind the reference image being there, but just so then, because my foot's probably gonna go up here, if anything. Okay, so we need a passing pose. Passing! Which is basically going to be the exact same up here. The only difference is that... Did I have Ashley's passing pose be forward more? I feel like I had Ashley's passing pose be forward more. One of the poses, I don't remember which one, is a little bit more forward than the rest. I'm actually going to change to this pencil. I know it's gonna look a little weird because I'm changing pencils in the middle of the animation, so there might be a little bit of a weird jumpy thing, but now we're fine. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is the normal pencil I use. I don't know why I was using the other pencil. Okay. Oh, oopsies. Okay. Oop. Okay. Yeah, so the head and everything is going to stay relatively the same. The only thing that's really going to change is the legs. And I could technically copy and paste the body down there, but I actually would prefer not to in this moment, just to... Sometimes if you copy and paste too much, the movement can look robotic, and this is a part where I don't need to technically copy and paste it. Sometimes you might want to, just to make things easier, but in this case I really don't want to avoid making it look more robotic, you know? Um, okay. And then we need a passing pose. So I think, yeah. So we need his leg. I always try to do the bigger leg first, if I can, when it comes to these poses. Or the leg that's closer, at least. Because I'm not... Wait, actually his leg isn't going to go up as much. Ashley's leg goes up a lot during her passing pose. It doesn't go up a lot, but it definitely goes up a little bit. So I'm gonna see if I can make it so his leg doesn't go up as much, because he's a little more reserved, he's a little less bubbly and energetic. If not, it's okay, because honestly, it's not gonna affect him too much. He's still, he's not like peppy, but he's pretty, um, he's not a peppy person. He's not like the, he's not Victoria. He's not Victoria, but he's not, you know, overly energetic either. I know you guys don't know really Victoria all that well, but let's just say he's not Victoria. Actually, I want his leg to go up a little bit more, maybe. A little bit smaller. So it doesn't look like he's like dragging his feet or anything. Okay. Do we think that's good, or does he look off balanced? I feel like he looks off balanced a little bit. He's kind of bound to when he's walking. There we go. Wait, let's see the difference between... Oh, is it her passing that's forward more? Yeah. I think it might be... One of them goes forward. Can you see it? Like, it's hard to see on the right side, but one of them goes the slightest bit forward. I'm trying to figure out what that one is. I feel like it's either this one or this one. It might be... Yeah, because that definitely goes back. And this one looks normal. Wait, then that means it's... I think it's the down one. I'm not sure. Let's save this just in case. go. Okay. Do this. So that is his contact pose. His arms need to be slightly rearranged-ish. So this one I'm gonna keep. I'm not gonna animate that one for a little bit just because I think his satchel might bounce up and down a little bit. Not too much, but his arms gotta go with it if I'm doing that. And then in this case, his arm is going to be swinging back, I think. So his arm is going to be kind of like, get a tiny bit tinier. It's going to be more at his side. Yeah, because Ashley's forward and then down, and then it's right at the middle. So for passing, the arms are at the middle mainly, but his other arm is going to stay up to grab his satchel. So that is the passing, and then we have to make contact and passing again for the different legs. So we can keep the top part of, nope, not in the arms. We can keep the top part of his stuff normal. Oh wait, I think it's wrong. Oh, no, don't go in the background. No. Okay. I think this is supposed to be over one. No, you're not supposed to go down. I don't mind if you take the arms with you because I'm gonna have to move it anyways, but you're not supposed to go down with it. Okay. So I'm thinking this is a moment where we just copy and paste this top part. Copy. So this is for contact again. Oh, wait. And then, where is it? Frame type. We gotta change this here. We have to change this here. Wrong thing. We have to change this here. So this is passing. Okay. That looks wrong. Let's fix that A. It looked like a U, and I'm not going to say that word, but oh my. I don't think that's even a word technically, but it gives an innuendo that I don't trust. Okay, contact, passing, contact, passing, passing. Perfect. And then we need another contact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. There we go. But we have to copy. I'm gonna copy the body from this one. Because it should be the same. Oh, no. Okay. It's there. Perfect. Okay. And then we just do contact again, but I think it's the left foot in the front now? Yeah. Or his right. His right, my left. In the front. So it should be Oh, right. His contact isn't going to be as outward as Ashley's is because he's a little bit more reserved. So once again, you gotta there you go. There's a foot. That's... there. No, hold on. There we go, and then mix it so it's back foot. I think because her next contact, you can't see her back foot. Okay, his you will probably see a tiny bit of. You won't see it too much. Actually, we're gonna see it a little bit more. I was gonna say you can't see it too much, but we do have to see it a little bit more than that. Oh, this is the 30-minute. I gotta take this off the playlist. Sorry, I hate it when songs are too long, and that song is definitely way too long. I feel like that's too... I feel like it's too far up. Okay. Actually, no, let's bring it back to how it was. I feel like... that might be too much, honestly. That might be too much of a back foot. I think it is. I think it's too much of a back foot. I either have too much or too little. Ugh. It's like if it's too little, it's gonna look like a model walk, and I don't want that. I don't want him to look like a model walk yet. That's Zara's job. Arms. Yeah, so the other one should be going up technically, which means that this one should be back. And then we gotta do another passing. Okay. Passing. Whoop. Nope. I don't want to see that. Nope. 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 Go back. Back, I tell you. Oh! No! 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 Thank you. Sorry, my OBS was being all weird. Ooh, my OBS is still being all weird. Okay, there we go. Alright. So this one's another passing. Where's our previous passing pose? Copy. Bum, bum, bum. So we just have to change the legs. So the previous passing had it so the left leg was up, so now we need our left, his right. But now we need his left, our right, up. Okay, so one foot is definitely down, and it's more of a ladder shoe. And is there other passing visible? No, it's not. So he actually is his leg down a little bit lower. This is already pretty low for the thing, so hold on. Let's undo all of this. Okay. Now, let's put it as invisible for now. Okay. And then his arms would be as close to his side as possible, but I think it would be slightly bent and moved forward. So if we went and played this, hold on, if we played this on a loop, hold on. He seems off balance. Like he seems very back. Mainly during his passing. I think he's too far back when it comes to his body. So we have to be a little bit more. Like he feels too, funnily enough, straight. Okay. Oh, oopsies. That was a mistake. Okay. That feels better. He was definitely like off balance before. This looks better. I feel like he's still. I do like his arm, and maybe it's the fact that his other arm isn't moving. Like if we take out the arms from the sketch, let's see. Is he off balance or no? I think his contacts are off balance too. Or at least this one is. Me? Hello? Oh, not for the arms, just for the body. That's what was the problem. Okay. And then his other contact. Actually, I think that one's fine. Let's see, let's see. Do we think that for his passing pose, I think I had. Let's see if we have him go forward a bit for both of his passing poses. That might help. Yeah. It's not much, but I think it does help give a little bit more life into this. So where's his arms? Let's get his arms back here. Let's move his arms over by like two for both of his passing poses. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. He looks like his arm is supposed to be in like a sling or something, but it's not. He's supposed to be grabbing his satchel. Because also you have, so, okay, this is a little fun fact. This world is a very dystopian world. Kind of, oh my god, I just realized we went over our stream time. It's a very dystopian world. Kind of think of like, think of like, what's it called? Fahrenheit 451, kind of, not entirely Fahrenheit 451, but it's kind of a similar situation, so that's kind of what he's gonna look like with everything done. It's not entirely Fahrenheit 451, but it's a dystopian, the fact that the government is restricting books and stuff. It's the government's restricting books and stuff like that, and so his satchel is made for books, and so, and this is like something that's happening during their time. It's not like a matter of everyone's kind of, you know, books were outlawed, but that was like 20 years ago, you know? It's not like that. This is happening as they are living in the world that they are in. And so that's why he's kind of grabbing onto his satchel bit. One, he's more of a reserved guy, but also he's grabbing onto it so that no one takes his books. No one takes the books away from him, because the satchel is the thing that would hold his books. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Obviously, it doesn't look like this one just yet because we need to add the up and down poses, but I think we can do that when I think we could do that the next time I stream. Next time I stream, we can do that. I think that's a pretty good plan. Next stream, work on this some more. That's what I'm thinking. I think that's a good idea. Alright. Alright. Yeah. That's a good plan. Alright, we're gonna end stream here because it has been 2 hours and I don't want to overstream by accident. So thank you guys all so much for coming to this stream. I hope that you guys have a lovely rest of your day, and once again, you don't have to if you don't want to, but please donate to the Trevor Project. You don't have to do it through my stream, you could do it through wherever. If you do it through my stream, we could hit some fun milestones. It'll change up the stuff a bit, but if you feel like you don't want to donate through Tiltify, because I know that Tiltify has some sort of conversion thing going on. Not conversion, like, not like that, oh my god. I mean, like, the fact that, so Tiltify sometimes takes, like, a percentage of whatever you're donating to charity. So, I don't really have a choice in what I use for my stream overlays at the moment, because I don't know any other websites or anything. If you guys know, let me know. But I think they take, like, 1% of what is donated or something. 1%, 3%, something like that. While the charity gets the rest. It's like something really small, but so if you would prefer not to donate through Testify, just to make sure that all of your money is going to them, feel free to go over to the Trevor Project's website and just donate to them there. You don't have to donate to them here. And yeah, that's it. Alright, thank you guys so much for coming. I will see you guys tomorrow on my Twitch channel, on Facility_TV. And if you don't feel like going to my Twitch channel, I'll see you on my YouTube on Wednesday. Alright? Have a